I'm Merilin Kiviorg, an associate professor in international law with primary focus on human rights. I have studied and taught human rights at several leading universities and programs in Europe. But today I invite you to explore our exceptional master's program in human rights and international law at the University of Tartu. Let me share what makes our curriculum stand out through the lens of two cornerstone courses I teach. I teach two courses, International Human Rights Law, which is an obligatory course, and Comparative Human Rights Law, which is an optional course. Students can choose whether they take it or not. Human rights law, when I teach this course, I often tell to my students, I am not just sharing legal principles and theory, I'm preparing you to navigate real-world human rights challenges. My course consists of three main interlinked parts: theory, international and regional human rights systems, and also moot court. We begin the course with what I consider essential groundwork, exploring theoretical foundations and various approaches to human rights that have shaped our understanding of these rights. I also encourage students to analyze and debate concepts like dignity, equality, universality, cultural relativism. Understanding these theoretical underpinnings is, in my view, crucial because they inform every aspect of how rights are interpreted and implemented globally. The second part of the course is devoted to intricate, let's call it, ecosystem of human rights instruments and challenges in implementing these instruments. We discuss not only the global UN system, but also look into all regional human rights frameworks. Our student body is very multinational. Students with interest in international law and specifically in human rights are coming from all continents. While there is some emphasis on global UN and European frameworks, substantial amount of time is dedicated also, for example, to inter-American and African human rights systems and challenges, and to other also emerging human rights frameworks. But what truly transforms this knowledge into skills is our moot court exercise. I would say that this part is the most important part of the course. I have been dividing students into legal teams and judges. All students have a chance to represent a state or an applicant and to be a judge in an international human rights court. I'm giving students the opportunity to argue very complex human rights cases as practitioners would. These hands-on exercises help students develop crucial argumentation and advocacy skills, but also skills to work together, cooperate as a team, that potentially also very attractive to employers. Students work in teams before the class and in the class. The moot court cases are based on important, very real life cases from international human rights courts and from UN treaty monitoring bodies. The moot court exercise is designed to deal with some very foundational human rights, such as right to life, for example, in the environmental cases, right to liberty and security, prohibition of torture, but also with freedom of expression, assembly, freedom of religion or belief. Students also get a grasp of the complex interplay between domestic and international protection of human rights. This hands-on exercise has proven very effective way to gain in-depth knowledge on complex human rights issues and develop ability to combine theoretical and practical knowledge and skills. The feedback shows that students value the exercise and do it with a great enthusiasm, the moot court. My second course, the optional course on comparative human rights, has been also very popular, not only for law students, but also students from political science, sociology, etc. The course takes your understanding to a deeper level through also a unique three-part structure, where we first study or give introduction to comparative law and comparative human rights and its challenges. Secondly, we discuss selected very controversial human rights topics. And a third, which is perhaps most interesting, is Comparative Human Rights Conference. I designed this course to create an open-minded and friendly environment where we can tackle some, as I said, controversial human rights issues, for example, such as death penalty, abortion, euthanasia, same-sex partnerships, religion and security, hate speech, and we do it from multiple perspectives. We begin with an introduction to comparative methodology. I challenge students to think beyond their own legal tradition and discuss utility and usefulness of comparative approach. We also focus on the concept of dignity and how it has been employed in judicial human rights practice and in different jurisdictions. We then look into real cases from different jurisdictions and analyze, for example, why judges reach different conclusions about the same human rights, how they reason, and whether they use comparative material and why they do it. Does context matter? These comparative discussions cultivate both a critical thinking and cross-cultural understanding, which is essential for international legal careers. What makes this course truly special is our Comparative Human Rights Conference. This is the main and most important part of the course. Each student has the opportunity to be a keynote speaker, but also develop moderation and discussion skills when they engage with colleagues' presentations. Students are getting feedback from their fellow students and from me. And this conference format prepares you not only for professional academic engagement, but builds confidence in presenting and discussing complex and also very sensitive human rights issues in constructive manner. Some papers have ended up actually being so good that they got published in legal journals. So that is a motivation. What makes me particularly proud of our program is how we bridge theory, practice, and skills. I've designed these courses to replicate the challenges you may face when working on human rights issues, for example, as a practitioner, activist, or even as a professor in the end. Many of my former students have kept in touch. Some continued with doctoral studies and have pursued their academic careers. Others now work at leading human rights organizations or as activists, legal practitioners, or even as professionals for their respective governments. So I invite you to join us at the University of Tartu, where my colleagues and I will guide you through not just the theory of human rights law, but its practical application in addressing the most pressing challenges of our time.